Sometimes it feels like our mind never really gets to rest, doesn't it? Even in the quietest moments, it keeps whispering worries, creating mental lists, revisiting conversations from the day. There's something interesting that happens when we look at the relationship between our spaces and how we feel. A connection that maybe we don't notice day to day, but it's always there, quietly influencing how we feel inside. Maybe you've felt this before. The difference between being in a place that invites rest and another that seems to always be asking for your attention. Have you ever noticed how you feel different in different environments? How an empty beach invites us to rest, while a desk full of stuff seems to not let us completely relax. Our mind has this natural tendency to mirror what's around us. When everything is scattered, it scatters too. When there are many things competing for our attention, it also gets divided. Think for a moment about the feeling of walking into a well-organized place. There's something almost immediate in that moment, isn't there? A feeling that we can finally relax our shoulders, let out our breath. It's not a coincidence. It's because our mind, finally, doesn't have to keep processing a list of things out of place. It can simply be present. It's like each thing around us carries a small, silent request. Things that need to be organized, put away, resolved. And our mind, always alert, keeps registering all of this in the background, even when we don't consciously notice it. There's a mutual influence constantly happening between our inner and outer worlds. When one is agitated, the other naturally responds. Have you noticed how, when we're very anxious, things around us also seem to get more messy? And how, when our house is cluttered, our mind seems even more confused? It's like a cycle that feeds itself. But the interesting thing is, we can break this cycle from either side. We can start by organizing the outside, and this naturally reflects on the inside. When we choose to create more simplicity in our environment, we're actually offering that same simplicity to our mind. We're creating fewer things for it to process, fewer background worries. And our mind, naturally, finds more space to relax, to contemplate, to simply exist without that constant feeling that there's always something pending. Imagine what it would be like to wake up in a space where nothing is silently screaming for your attention. What would the quality of that calm be like? The deepest changes often start with the simplest gestures. It doesn't need to be a radical transformation. Actually, it's better when it's not. You can start just by observing. When you look around, what first catches your attention? What seems to be asking for a little care? Maybe it's making the bed in the morning. This gesture creates a small island of order right at the start of the day. A gentle reminder that you're capable of creating harmony. Or maybe it's choosing a little corner to always keep in order. A place where you can look and feel a small sense of relief. Each space you simplify is like a gift you give to your own peace of mind. It's like telling your mind, here you don't need to worry about anything. And it's interesting how the mind responds to this with more clarity, with more lightness, with a subtle feeling that everything is okay. It's not about living with the minimum amount of obligation. It's about discovering that when we have exactly what we need, there's a sense of completeness that's hard to explain, but easy to feel. It's the difference between a hunger that never gets satisfied and that feeling of being perfectly content. When we create simpler spaces around us, we're creating space inside us too. Space to breathe without rushing. Space to feel without judgment. Space to exist without the pressure of always having to be doing something. We live in a culture that convinces us we always need more. More things, more experiences, more achievements. But sometimes the real wealth is in knowing that we're always in process and that maybe we already have everything that's necessary for a good life. When we stop constantly looking for the next thing that will complete us, we discover that consuming things or living for the future don't solve it. Simplicity can bring us peace by not having to process 1,000 stimuli or wait for something to fill us. Anxiety often comes from this feeling that something is always missing, that we need to always be preparing for the next step. But simplicity shows us something different, that we can be okay exactly where we are. Each time we choose simple over complicated, we're practicing a gentle form of self-care. We're prioritizing our inner peace over any external pressure. As you settle into sleep, maybe you can carry this reflection with you. The tranquility you're looking for isn't hidden somewhere far away. It's here, waiting to be discovered through simplicity. Tomorrow when you wake up, maybe you'll feel like starting the day by taking care of some small detail in your space. It could be putting some things away, or simply opening the windows mindfully, creating an environment that invites calm. Each moment of simplicity you create is an investment in your own serenity. These are small seeds of tranquility that grow over time. A simpler life isn't about perfection. It's about intention. It's about choosing, when possible, to create a little more space to breathe, to be, to find peace in everyday details. May your sleep be as serene as a well-cared-for space. May you wake up tomorrow with your heart a little lighter, knowing that sometimes the biggest transformations start with the simplest gestures.